come close to me and get an eyeshadow primer. If you have really oily lids, use a real primer. If you don't, you can use a concealer. Doesn't really matter unless you really suffer from like lack of longevity, then use a primer. This is the VDL Expert Color Primer for the eyes. I like it because it leaves a little bit of cool tinge to it. I don't really know what the benefits of using a blue primer are besides just brightness in general, but I do like a bright eye. So we're just gonna tap this in, and then we're gonna pick up our Viseart in our first brush. I have a certain sort of love for the BK Beauty brushes. Like the makeup artists who are coming online and they're like standing this brand, I don't think they're lying. I think like this is a good brand. So we're gonna go into this first shade here. And we're gonna load up this brush a good amount. Because it's such like a skin tony color, it doesn't have to be tapped off. We don't have to be careful. We're just gonna wash it in the crease. So you're just gonna aim for the center of your eye where your eye crease is and just wash this back and forth. This should be like a little bit darker than your skin tone. And this is just gonna give our next shades something to blend into. And it's also just gonna lay down and be one of our base colors, sort of peachy, nice, pretty color. I love this Viseart palette. It's my favorite lately. And it's also a wedding staple, a client staple. When I don't have this, my work doesn't look as good. And that's embarrassing. So repeat on the other eye. It should look like this, almost nothing. You can blend up if you have a very large amount of space. If you don't have a large amount of space, keep it nice and low. And now the next step, if you break it down in steps like this. We're gonna grab our second brush, and this is an A504 from BK Beauty. You see, it's just a bit smaller. And you need at least one really tiny little crease brush. It doesn't have to be this one, but it helps to have because we need to pinpoint the crease without getting crazy. We're gonna take this sort of more neutral color here. It's the most neutral of these browns. And this time we are gonna tap off more excess, and we're going to shoot right under this bone here, right into the crease of the eye. When you open, it should almost disappear. That's where you wanna place it. Yes, we'll blend it and you'll be able to see it, but like just for placement, if you're confused, you want it to disappear into the shadow. We're just gonna apply this starting at the outer corner. Don't ever start your dark colors unless you want to. You can do whatever, but in this tutorial, don't start dark colors right in here because it will close the eye and it doesn't look flattering on most people. You could dip back in and you're just gonna work this product forwards and backwards. You're going to fade it forward, and it's just kind of gonna be a free edge over here for a while. I like to work from side to side because I get bored working on one side. And every so often you should look straight into the mirror with your eye open and see how that's looking. Because oftentimes we're like this or like this or like this when we're doing our makeup. If you wanna gauge how dark to make the crease, look straight into the mirror and that will tell you everything you need to know. So for me, I can obviously go darker and I can also blend a bit more, just softly around those edges. Now we want to focus on really contouring the eye. That's what's going to give us a pretty effect to this makeup as opposed to just like a glittery eye or like lots of bling that we're looking at, but maybe we're looking at the makeup and we're not looking at your face. This is a makeup that people will look at your face and think, she's pretty. You know, that's what I want to be. I want to be pretty. I've always wanted to be pretty since I was a little girl. I used to curl my hair. I used to stand in the mirror for hours. I have been vain since childhood. My mom said when I was 3, I would stand in the mirror and I'd flatten my hair and I'd complain because I have 2 swirls or whatever, 2 hair patterns, and I would complain about it and try to flatten them. Diva. Now, third step, we're going back into this palette, of course, and we're gonna go and mix these 3 shades. These shades, these slate cooler shades are so important for a contoured eye look. And it's because they're cool, they give us that bone look. It's why we contour with cool tones. We need that depth without going too dark. If you don't do this, yes, it can still be nice and soft, but if you do this, it will pop your eye out of its socket, and I think that looks pretty. So you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna run this right into that crease. Keep it almost in the middle of the entire blend. Like you can see the most depth is here, and then there's a little fade above and below it. And use a light touch. If you notice, I'm going like this. Soft light touches with cool tones works better because cool tones are a little trickier than warm tones. They're a little more patchy, I should say. And again, it's really important to look with your eye open. So I have this sort of fold on my eye, so I actually can't see it when I'm applying like this. So if I open my eye and I look straight into a mirror, I can see that fold and I can sort of fill it with the makeup. We'll just keep going back and forth, adding little bits at a time and blending forward. Keep these cool tones away from the inner third of the eye. Just trust me, you don't want gray in here. I don't know why, but on most people, it's just not stunning, okay? Just keep blending and don't bring your gray all the way in. You can leave this to be open or you can connect it. Some people, it bothers them to leave this outer V open. I'm gonna wait, I might connect it later. For now, I'm just bringing a little here so that it looks blended, but I'm not putting fresh shadow there. I'm not like creating more depth there. And now there's almost nothing on this brush, so I feel comfortable enough blending up a little bit. And sometimes we can blend our color down that it's like, okay, we need more now. So just keep that in mind. You might have to add more. And again, we're just softening, 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 softening. Story of my life, stay soft. I've been trying to stay soft in dating because these men want me to be evil, and sometimes I am, but I have to remind myself I'm a soft girl. Be soft, be kind, love other people, even if they hurt you. I did call a guy a name this week though. I did really bad. I did a really bad thing and I'm ashamed of myself. Let's go ahead and tap our brush into this. And we're going to dust this on the lid. And this is gonna be our first step of highlighting. And I'm gonna bring mine all the way out here. But if you connected the outer V, then just bring it to the edge of the brown shadow. I'm just going to leave it open for now, but I might come back and darken it. So that's this shade here, punched across the lid. We are gonna go into this one, but not yet. I like to get my peachy shade down first because too much white right away is sometimes a little bit stark. And this is a soft girl look. We're soft. Stay soft, Emily. I'm trying to like teach myself this lesson and I'm failing. I failed this week, but I'm getting back on the horse. Okay, now we'll go in with our lighter color and we'll bring this into the inner third. And if you are more medium tan, you don't have to use a color this white, but you do want to use a color that's just a little bit lighter than your skin tone. If you want it to be more dramatic, then you could go a lot lighter than your skin tone. Depends on the level of drama that you want. Everything is gauged according to skin tone. So your mid-tones, your pale shades, it's all just adjusted to you, depending on the eye shape. But the color is a little more customizable. And now we're gonna take the same brush, we haven't dusted it off or anything, and we're just going to run this right into this crease, kind of meeting here so that we can blend that. And now we have this nice open eye that has a lot of shape to it. From here, you can bump it up. So let's bump it up because this is a tutorial. So from here is when I would add more of like a rich brown like this. It's rich, but somehow it's still not overly warm, which I really appreciate. A lot of eyeshadows are overly warm, like give me a neutral. Please just give me a neutral because as a makeup artist, it works on most people and you can really get those carved out looks with these more neutral browns without going too mauve-y or too slate. We are mid-tone girls. Oh my God, I just did that without even thinking. I did the outer V without even thinking. My hand just wants to do it. So I guess we're committing to that. And we're also just committing to deepening up this crease a touch and blending as we go. I can't believe I did that just by default, but I did it earlier too. And I do like how it looks. Maybe that's why I did it. It's like my hand just wants it. And then you blend as you go, like I said, softly. When you blend, like, be so gentle, because say there's still something on here, you'll get more punch from it if you're pushing it, but we don't want more punch. We just want to softly blend it. And if you go softly, then everything blends sort of at the same rate, and then we avoid patchiness. We don't want to be patchy girls. Now this is almost like most of our eyeshadow look. We'll do eyeliner and lashes now. We've got our shadow on. We're going to take our eyeliner and we're going to drag this across the lash line. And this eyeliner is in dire shape. My sharpener is not performing well, but if I could do it with such a nub, anybody could. Here's the thing about pencil liners. They're so easy to manipulate. So if you're not very good with your eyeliner and you have a pencil and a little brush, try doing that. Like, put it on and then start smoothing it out. It doesn't have to go on perfectly the first time. And really, like, I was watching my sister do her eyeliner the other day and she was like, she did a wing too big. She didn't realize she could just take it and just like maneuver it. Just move it around until it looks good. It doesn't have to be perfect, especially when you're applying it. It almost never will be perfect upon application unless it's a pen and you have a very steady hand. Flicked it out a little bit. We're gonna go in with powder on top, but first we'll do the other side, and same business over here. Drag it through the lash line. Try to just keep it right on top of the lashes because it will thicken itself. Pencil liners, they have the ability to become thicker on their own, just like by the way that they are. Pencil liners, because they're wider than say like a pen or something, it will always just come out a little thicker unless you sharpen it really, really sharp. So do that if you want it sharp. Now we're gonna just soften this line as well, continuing to flick it out, and actually both flicks are going at different angles, but I'm just gonna get the powder on and fix it with the powder. So this is a good base for our powder liner. I feel like powder on top of a pencil liner just takes it to another level. It just looks nice and you can't really even tell why it looks so nice. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're just going to top this off, and also I'm gonna correct my shape a little bit. You can always correct your shape with your powder. We're going to put it on and above, and we're just gonna blend it and just kind of push this warmer shade right on top. I love a warmer brown next to the lash line because then it pops the eye color more. Warm tones for me are best right up close in there. Dark and warm is great, and I love brown as opposed to black because I just feel like it's more soft, it's more disguisable. It's makeup without looking like makeup, which is kind of my vibe, especially for an eyeshadow look like this, where we want to look pretty and contoured, not necessarily like so dramatic, so makeup-y. And see, you just use your hands, use your brushes, whatever, do what you need to do to get the result that you want. There are no rules. I went a little extra wingy. I wasn't intending on doing that. So we're just gonna take our Bioderma on a cotton pad and we're just gonna crisp up the outer line there. See, it was thick and now it's thin. That's another thing that you can do, like use your tools, apply it, and then wipe half of it off. Who cares? Now today I wore the touche éclat YSL pen under my eyes and it looks good in a few hours. This, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't do much, but sheer products like this, they look good in a few hours. This is also a product that I would probably use for like mature skin. If somebody is like, please use something on me that doesn't emphasize any lines or wrinkles, sure, I'll use this. It's very natural though. It's not gonna go so far, but not everybody needs that or wants that. Beauty blender and just soften this, melt this into the skin. And I'm gonna leave the rest of my skin alone, and then we're gonna go ahead and go into lashes because this is an eye look after all. I've been a little sick, so I have a lot of redness here. So we'll just go ahead and knock that redness out while we're at it. And yeah, I like that touche éclat, which is funny because when I first got it, I was like, this doesn't do anything. So just gonna quickly reapply the blush that's sort of gotten wiped off from here to here. This is Valentino in the cheek and eye to cheek, whatever, blush and eye, I guess. You can use it for both. And this is in the shade 4, and in my opinion, it's very lovely. It also goes well with this sort of contoured eye look when you want a softer cheek to go along with the eye. Now from here, you could just do mascara. I must wear lashes at all times. So let's use a few cluster lashes. Cluster lashes are probably the most beginner friendly. Ideally, you would use medium and short. I only have medium, extra short, and singles and short. So I'm sort of cocktailing it. Anybody else, medium and short is what you need. Unless you have very short lashes and you want to be very natural, then use extra short and short. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in even further so that we can be more intimate. Don't shy away from intimacy. Let's take 2 mediums and pop them each on the outer eye. I like to work from side to side, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes with the clusters or the individuals, they won't be glued down all the way. And then when you go to place one, another will stick to your tweezer and lift up. So doing 1, 2, and then 1, 2 works a little bit better. You could even do 1, 1, you know, you get the gist. Never attempt it without a tweezer. It would be a waste of time and energy, okay? Get a good tweezer too. Don't buy any of these name brand tweezers, and I'll tell you why. I have them all. They are nothing special. Ardell, I have the velour. They're not good. Just get the Amazon ones that have this good grip to them. I can link a good Amazon one if you like. And then here is the other side. We're gonna do 2 mediums, and I hope that you can see it. So when you apply it, you're going straight to the lash line. You don't want this lash to hang completely off the eye because then your eyes will come down like sad cartoon characters. Bring it to almost the end of the eye. But if it's hanging off the edge of the eye, your eyes are gonna look more downturned, and like, sure, it could be like a flirty look, Marilyn vibes, but not everybody is looking for that. But it's a little sad. Now we'll go ahead and pop this one on. And if you get it on the lash line, but not quite as close, not touching, just push it in. Keep working, take your time, breathe, and sit down. No hovering over the mirror. Now we're gonna do one of these shorts on each side, and this is just for blending purposes. And if you just get the mediums and the shorts, you won't have to do this. I just have to do it because every time I go to the beauty supply, they're sold out of short cluster lashes. Why are they always sold out? That's where I get these. I have to buy them in bulk at the beauty supply, but I'm gonna link the Ardell ones because that's just as good. And Ardell you can actually buy. Unless you're in Los Angeles, then go to Namie's in the Valley. Now we're going into our shorter size. Duo Original is my favorite. It does have latex and apparently formaldehyde. I'm unfortunately not like a clean beauty girl. I love luxury makeup and it's not clean. So check back in 20 years and see if my eyeballs are falling out. Let's do 2 of these. And always apply if you can with your eye open, because then you'll get the most accurate placement. Now we're gonna finish up the other side. Now it looks even, so this is the lash look. Once your lashes are dry, go ahead and just like pinch them together too. Sometimes those little baby clusters, they wanna flick up. Just pinch them back down once they start to dry a little bit and they should stay in place. And here is our finished look. Now from here, you're welcome to add some shimmer. Do the lower lash line, waterline, more mascara, whatever. Tailor it to you, but this is a really, really, really good basic look that you can bang out again and again and again when you wanna look good and you don't wanna fuss with your makeup. You just want something reliable. I mean, of course, try it first before anything important. Make sure that it's for you. But this is a makeup look that I do again and again and again and again when I need to be looking good and not like fucking around and finding out, if you get what I mean. Thank you guys for getting ready with me, and I'll see you for the next one.